Hey guys, it's Lauren Yates from Rave It Up here, and today we're going to be chatting over Zoom with a famous Latin dancer, very famous for her bachata dancing, Tanja Kensinger, also known as La Alemana. Before we get into today's interview, we would like to give a shout out to our Patreons, Irene, Bev, and Michael. If you haven't heard of Patreon before, it is a great way to support us and keep us running and improving. You pick a membership tier that suits you and your budget per month, and in return for supporting us, we'll give you behind-the-scenes content and free stuff. You don't have to give much either. You can be a part of our Patreons for as little as $4 a month. Just visit patreon.com/raveitup. You can even donate through PayPal if you don't trust other sites. You can do so just through our email, raveituptv@gmail.com. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. We appreciate anything you can do to support us. Now, let's get into this interview. Tanja, welcome to Rave It Up. It is a pleasure to have you on the show. How are you going today?
Thank you. I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me. Thanks for the invitation. I'm excited.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on an Australian podcast, Australian YouTube channel. That's what I love about technology. We're on the either side of the world, and we're chatting in real time. Just blows my mind sometimes. Now, I don't know if my team had told you as well, I'm actually a Latin dancer myself and also an instructor at my own dance studio here in Sydney. And I just have to tell you before we even start, you was such an inspiration to me, you and George, to even get into bachata in the first place, which I just have to thank you because I don't know if I would have found it otherwise. And it's just one of the biggest loves in my life. And I'm sure you really feel the same as well. I don't know what my life would be without bachata. So thank you. It was that video Te Extrano by Extreme. Your beautiful routine, obviously world famous. That's what changed my life. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And thank you for sharing that with me. That always, when we hear stuff like that, it always makes us feel really good because I don't know. It's weird because we just did that choreography and we're like, okay, we're just dancers. And then all of a sudden, it blew up and we are who we are now. So it's great. Thank you.
Well, yes, it mustn't be really nice hearing those comments to be like, oh, this is great. I'm not only doing what I love, but I'm also changing the world a little bit too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, since this is your first time on the show, Tanja, we'd actually love to get to know you a little bit better and start from the beginning, if that's okay, to get a good idea of how you made it to where you are today. I know, really bringing you back. I like to bring you down memory lane.
Okay.
I did my research on you, so let's just get into it. Your mother was a professional dancer, so do you kind of feel it was a bit inevitable that you'd get into it too? Did your mum, except for pushing you into dance classes, push you into it as a bit of a career, or?
You know what? She never pushed me. I think what she told me, because obviously my memory started at like age 6 or whatever, but she said that I danced before I really could walk. Like I was always moving to music. So it's always been in my blood, I guess you could say. So I was the one that really wanted to do the dancing. So she always she put me in whatever classes I wanted to get to, like rock and roll. I did ballroom. I did ballet for like 6 months, but I was a tomboy. So I got out of it because I couldn't deal with the pink and all the foo-foo stuff.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah. So she never was that type of mother that was like, okay, I'm a dancer. Now you have to do that. She just kind of let me be, but she saw that I loved music and I loved dancing. So she automatically was like, all right, well, whatever you want to do, let's do it. And I didn't think I was going to be a professional dancer. I wanted to, that was a dream, like a distant dream in my head after I moved to the States. But really I was going to go to school first for law, and then I decided on psychology, and then I started dancing. And I was like, okay, that's it. That's what I'm doing.
Very, very different. Wait, so in what stage do you think you were finally like, you know what, I'm going to fully focus 110% on the dancing instead of having kind of like, that plan B as they call it?
I think it really started like when I first started learning salsa when I was about 19, back in 2005. That's when I was like, yeah, this is it. I found it. This is what I want to do. And I started with salsa, and then bachata came in. And then it just, with Extrano, it just kind of like created this career path. And I just rode that wave because I'm like, yeah, living off of dance is what I want to do. So yeah, I didn't start until I was 19.
Thank God it paid off, right?
I know. Oh my gosh.
And I think a lot of people are surprised to hear that you were born in Germany, actually, and that's where Alemana came from.
Exactly. Yes.
But moved to the States when you were 8. Do you even remember that move? Was it quite intimidating?
I do actually. I don't know if it was intimidating. I feel like as children, we're really not intimidated by a lot of things at a young age.
Mm.
But I know that when we moved during the summertime. I was 8, and I didn't know any English at that point. Like I learned English watching television within 3 months
Wow.
of the summertime, and then I had to go to school. And the crazy thing is because in Europe, or at least in Germany, we were ahead education wise. I
Mm.
got straight A's without really knowing the language because I already learned all the things. I was like, oh yeah, this is way easier. I'm cool. And I just kind of learned English as I went along. But it was it was different. It was definitely a culture shock for sure, but it was cool. I liked it.
Do you find like because kids they soak up things really easily that was it? Do you think it was easy to learn English because you were so young?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, there's no way. Like, I'm still trying to learn Spanish and it's been 13 years.
I was gonna bring that up because I was like, "Oh, come on! I've seen you sing with Grupo Extra, and like you just seem so fluent. I don't know how much practice
Which
that
is
was."
so weird. No, I'm reading all the lyrics, but I think because my mother has that same talent as well as my half sister, we pick up the enunciation of the languages much quicker. Like we're able to pronounce and all that stuff like within that language. I don't know what it is, but I'm
Mm.
gonna say it's a talent.
But I guess starting a new language as an adult, that must be a
Yeah,
lot more
it's way
difficult.
harder. It's way harder. Yeah,
You can
absolutely.
fool me. 13 years. Come on. You just seem so fluent. It's beautiful. And I love to relate to you even more because I do find our stories very similar in the way that, as you mentioned before, your mum just chucked you in all the dance classes when you were around 3. Mine too. She chucked me in the ballet as well. And just like you, I'm
Didn't
surprised you
like
stuck
it.
with it for 6 months. I think I only stuck
So
with it
am
for a couple of
I.
weeks. I was like, not for me. And tap and jazz.
Yeah.
I didn't start ballroom and Latin till later on in life. But I wanted to know, do you still dance any of those styles today, even just for fun?
Um, I haven't taken classes in them. I have a friend who does ballet, so I took like some privates and I have some videos of her. I'm like, all right, let me try to get this technique back. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so hard. And I went to a ballet class. I'm like, okay, I don't know if I could do this. My bones are different now.
Still
So
not for you.
yeah. I'll do like I'll dance some ballroom if I have a lead that knows ballroom, I can follow as much as possible. But I'm really just like Latin dancing. That's really what I'm doing is salsa, bachata, merengue, cha-cha, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
It's good to kind of dip your toe into a little bit of
Yeah.
everything. Keep learning. As we
Yeah,
leave school, we
absolutely.
never stop learning, right?
Absolutely.
So you did mention about, with finding salsa, a lot of your fans already know about that with you working as a go-go dancer. I thought that was really cool in a hip hop club, and you just saw, a couple dancing LA salsa and was like, I have to learn that. I was kind of the same. Oh my God, I have to learn that. But when did Bachata come along? Was that from looking at another couple as well, or
No,
YouTube?
it's crazy because actually, like, I've known Latin dancing since I was 10. My best friend's Puerto Rican. Then we grew up together. So I went to the house party. So I knew salsa, bachata, and I would dance them like the street style at home. So I
Mm,
knew what bachata was. What happened? I learned salsa and I was teaching it. And then when my ex dance partner and I broke up, like broke the partnership, I was looking for a partner. George was looking for a partner at the time. And really, what we wanted to do in the beginning was like bachata wasn't even on the radar at that point. We didn't know people were performing it or anything. And there were plenty of people performing it, like on the West Coast and in Europe, but
mm.
we weren't aware of it. And that was like right when YouTube started. So we didn't have a lot of videos, but we were like, all right, let's do salsa. And then one of my friends said, because we wanted to do a routine, but we were still beginners when
Mm.
it came to salsa. We were terrible choreographers when it came to that. So she goes, you know what? You guys want to do a performance, show that you guys are a partnership. Instead of doing salsa, why don't you do bachata? You guys dance bachata very well socially. Just do that. And we're like, really? Like a bachata show? It's just a social dance. So we did Extrano And then all of the sudden, once it was on YouTube, we were like, oh my God, this is amazing. We love it. Come and teach us. And we're like, what the hell just happened? We wanted to do salsa and we were trying to offer salsa the whole time, but everybody wanted to hire us for bachata. So that's kind of just like, it came in because we wanted to showcase our partnership, to showcase La Alemana Ataca, our partners now, they're dancing together. The easiest routine that we can come up with was a bachata show. And then that's what we became.
I love how you guys think that routine was so easy because, like, when you watch it, especially if you're just starting out dancing, you're like checking out that footwork and you're like, what? And you're like, nah, it's all good. I can do that in my sleep.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I love that story though, because you did have, as you mentioned, a dance partner before George came along, or before you came along for George, however you want to phrase that. Yeah. What? How much traction do you think you were already getting? You know, say with that other dance partner, or even before that, were you already starting to? Well, as you said, YouTube really only just started then. Were you already starting to put some of your own stuff out?
Yeah, there's actually videos of me dancing on YouTube, like doing social dancing with him. His name's Neri. So we have a couple of videos on YouTube from like 2004, 2005, 2006 that are on there. And the name is La Alemana. So I've had that nickname from before George. And but it was funny. Like, it's very minimal. It was just like, hey, let's just throw it up there. But there were views. But the thing is the views, the high views for those videos that were older came because of Extrano.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That always happens, doesn't it? They go, check out the old ones.
Yeah, exactly. Please don't.
Yeah. She's like, no. Look at the new stuff. I've improved.
Yes.
So speaking of Ataca, like, do you ever get sick of just spending so much time together and always dancing together? Do you ever like, oh my God, can't I just dance with someone else for a second?
Well, I mean,
a little bit. It's all right. I won't tell him.
It depends. But honestly, like, as far as dance partners go, Ataca is the best when it comes to a dance partner for myself. And I feel like it's a natural connection that we have, that we've had since the beginning. And obviously 13 years, you know, together, you create, you know, a certain bond and you end up actually thinking alike. You're like on the same wavelength. So I wouldn't trade that for anything. Like, I don't think I could find that again. So yes, he is my favorite dance partner ever.
Yes, he definitely looks like a really good lead just from the videos.
Oh, he's very good.
I'm like, damn. Good. Oh, I hope to dance with him in the future. Who knows? Yes. If you ever come to Australia, right, we got to go social dancing. Woo!
Absolutely.
Was it difficult in the beginning though? Because obviously it was so many years together. Like, you just get used to it, and you know, you're used to his leads, he's used to your follows. But was it hard in the beginning for that height difference? A lot of people just cannot dance with someone unless they're taller than them.
Yeah.
I'm not dissing on his height, by the way. I'm just no. You guys are perfect.
No, I don't think we really had any issue. I can't remember if there was any problems height-wise. I mean, obviously it would always be beneficial if the lead is taller than the follow, but naturally I am technically shorter than him. He's about 5'9", I'm 5'6", but I always wear like 4-inch heels. So I'm like his height. But it always worked out. And the thing is, I think what's good is, you know, it has its benefits because we're more like at the same eye level. So I don't have to look up or he doesn't have to look down. We can just connect like this. And I think that kind of helps us as well, like when we're doing performances and everything like that.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Oh. And why Alemana and Ataca? Because why did you feel like you needed a stage name? Because there are actually a lot of couples out there that just go by their real names.
Yeah. I think what happened, well, like I said, before George, I had La Alemana as a nickname, and it is in those videos. So the videos with my ex-dance partner, it is Tanja, La Alemana, and then Neri. And when we got together, and obviously we have an additional business partner, Rudy, and I don't remember the conversation, but I know that my nickname was already on YouTube. So we're like, all right, you know what? Let's just roll with it. People kind of, the little amount of people that have seen those videos, they already know you by that. So let's just roll with that. And Ataca was the same thing. He had videos with his previous dance partner as well under Ataca. So we just kind of like, we're like, you know what? Let's just roll with it. It sounds cool when people announce it. Why not? You know, and then, you know, there's other dancers that have the name Jorge. There's not many that have Tanja, but when you say Ataca La Alemana, you know exactly who you're talking about, as opposed to like, true. Which one is it, you know?
It's unique, yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's not so much about, oh, I want to keep my identity private because you guys are very open about your real names too. So,
Yes.
so as we know, that Te Extrano video just went freaking viral and still does to this day. I'm sorry that you like cringe a little bit when you watch it now, but as I said, I was amazed by that performance, and that was the reason I got into Latin dancing. But you guys, because of that, have now become, like, I want to say, the most famous bachata couple in the world. Yeah, I think that's a fair statement, right?
Okay, I'll let you say that.
Yes, because even the video you did with Daniel and Desiree with Grupo Extra, that I couldn't believe. I just checked it yesterday. Nearly 200 million views.
Yeah, that's insane.
Woo!
It's crazy.
I just cannot even fathom that amount of people. Does that ever get to you? Is that ever feel nerve-wracking to be like, oh my goodness, that many people are looking, and we got to keep that, I guess, quality up?
I think, well, for me, I really don't go on YouTube that much to watch my videos, so I don't even know what the views are. But I do feel like there is a unspoken pressure for at least for George and myself, to just make sure that we're constantly learning, we're constantly growing, and we're constantly putting out product that people want, people enjoy, and that's authentically ourselves. So yes, we always want to do better with every single performance that we do, with every workshop that we do. But as far as like the YouTube views, I really don't know about them. So that doesn't really add the pressure.
It doesn't affect me.
Yeah, the YouTube views, I'm like, but not that it doesn't matter. So keep watching the YouTube.
Yes.
But I think it's just, when we're in front of audiences or when we're at events, we just want to give the best to the people that, pay to see us, that are following us. We want to give them, what they want, and that's us, but we always want to be better.
It's good to not be distracted by those sort of numbers and just being focused on the actual product or product service, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's technically a product. It's a brand, so yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys still doing a lot of training too, or is it just more about whatever you come up with in the moment?
No, a little bit of both. Like we'll still watch videos, or we'll train together. And George, obviously, as the lead, he'll try to come up with very creative new turn patterns. We take a lot from salsa. We're salsa dancers.
Yeah.
So we incorporate that as well. That's where really the turn patterns are coming from. So we watch, people like Fernando Sosa and Adolfo and there are a couple other people that were like, oh, that is a really cool pattern. Let's try that. Let's try to figure out how to put that into bachata. And that's kind of, how we grow. Are we taking a lot of bachata classes? No. But are we looking at other dance styles to try to fuse that in there and make it not necessarily authentic, but to make it creative and fit the style? Yes.
Yeah, I love that all the Latin dances really cross over, and you can just do whatever you do in bachata, you can do in salsa, and vice versa, or merengue, like whatever. Like, makes it fun and entertaining. And even though being a professional now and everyone is looking at you on YouTube, do you ever still stuff up on stage?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I just did it last weekend.
Don't even notice it. We us fans are just like, that looks awesome.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, absolutely. We still mess up. I mean, we try to keep it to a minimum. And I think, like I said, because we have that connection, when we do mess up, it's hard to tell because we're able to read each other very quickly and adjust. Yeah. But there's definitely been mess ups, and they're on video and they're forever on YouTube, and you can see that. Yeah. And it is what it is, we're human, it happens.
Isn't there a famous quote out there that was like, if you fall or, miss a step, just make a part of the dance?
Yeah, exactly. Just smile, and you meant to do that.
Yeah, exactly. That was part of the move. I'm gonna have to look back over the videos now. I'm joking.
Yeah, they're out there.
Even though you guys are, so popular and very famous out there, you guys have definitely paid your dues though. Like at the beginning, you had to pay to go to different congresses around the world, your airfares, hotel rooms, all of that. I'm just wanting to tell the audience that they have definitely earned all their success. Did you ever feel like in those stages of giving up and just maybe wanting to go back home and get a so-called normal job?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Once we started, we both love teaching. We both love performing. We love connecting with people. So, we knew you had to put the work in and you had to invest in yourself. So we were like, all right, we want to go to this event. We want to be known. We want to be hired in the future. So we're going to have to pay this airfare. We're going to have to pay for the hotel. Or, you know, sometimes we got the hotel comped. We were there to work. We didn't get paid for the work. But it was okay because we were investing. And in the beginning, you know, obviously it paid off, and we're still here today, you know, 13 years later. So totally worked.
Yeah. Did you have like at that stage different jobs to be able to afford that, or was it still all dance related?
No, it was
Like
all
waitressing
dance,
or something?
no, at the time, no, I haven't worked a regular job since 2004, 2005. I used to do
Oh,
insurance.
so proud of you.
So after that, I was like, that's it. This is dancing. So we were doing a lot of local classes. We were doing like local performances and just trying to work as much as possible. But we haven't worked a regular job when George and I became partners since 2008. And I haven't worked a regular job since 2005.
Wow. Good on you. See, guys, it's possible.
Not easy.
Not
it's
easy.
Possible.
But I do love that the show is all about, you know, being motivated from the guests I have on, and inspired that, you know, go chase your dreams, guys. You only live once. And it's so, even though it's hard in the beginning, so worth it in the end, especially if you love it. And speaking of that traveling too, you've now traveled to what, over 25 different countries? It's probably more than that now.
Probably like 35 countries. Yeah, like we've been on every continent, obviously, except Antarctica because penguins don't bachata. But
sure, they'd still love the performance, Tanja.
Yes, we'll just go down there, perform, and then come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we've definitely been very blessed, I would say, for having been able to travel the world multiple times over, seeing what we've seen, connecting with the people, experiencing the cultures that we've experienced before the age of, you know, 35, 36.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people can't say that. And it's sad because it does, you know, with the traveling, it does open your mind to new ideas, new things. I feel like you become much more empathetic as a human being towards other cultures. Like, because we've experienced like really rich places, and then we've experienced very poor places, and it just kind of, you know, makes you appreciate what you have, but also you know, appreciate others as well. And you just, I don't know, people are amazing all across the globe. Like it's been yes. It's been an awesome experience. I wouldn't trade it for anything ever. That's amazing.
Well, it's also true that you can be so grateful that you get to travel from doing something you love too. It's not just traveling, you know, once a year when you've got the time off from work. You guys are doing it throughout the year. It's incredible. But I think people do forget about how hard it can be, all that travel on your body, especially as a dancer when your body is like needed for your job. How have you coped with that? Because I've listened to some other interviews you've done, and even though George, he's like, yeah, I can sleep on the plane, you can't. Do you still spend make sure there's like plenty of time in between flights and performances or whatever, or is that a bit hard to control so that you can rest?
It was very hard. I would say for about 10 years, from about 2011 until 2010 till about 2020, right before COVID. We were traveling almost every weekend. We would be home maybe 2 or 3 days out of the week. So like we would get home Monday, be home Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we would leave again by Thursday, because a lot of our work was in Europe. And in the beginning we were doing tours, and for myself, although it was nice in the beginning, I missed home, I missed my bed. Like it's different. It's a different feeling being in a hotel in a place that you don't speak the language, and the food's different. Like it just really,
and time zones.
Everything.
Yeah.
So it was definitely difficult. And I know for myself, it's funny, I was having a conversation with somebody today about it, that it seems like the men in our community seem to be able to do this a lot longer, and are like just like they're like this. Whereas the women in our community are like, oh my God, I'm so tired. This is so exhausting. And, you know, it affects us a lot more, I feel like. And I do know that during that time, like right towards not the end, but before we started slowing down, I know that mentally it affected me in a very, very big way. And, you know, I was very foggy. I would forget a lot of things, and, you know, not seeing my home, not seeing my family or my friends, and really just having like my own life. I know that mentally I wasn't in a good state, like started going into depression again. Like it was a lot. It's definitely not easy. I love what I do, but it was difficult for a while, for sure.
Especially when it's every weekend. It would be different if it was once a month or, you know, a few times a year.
And it would be easier if we were doing it in the, you know, in the States, but we were doing a lot of back and forth to Europe or to
Mm.
Asia. And it was just like, jet lag was permanent for us.
Yeah. Mm.
But, you know,
Like, why don't you just
but we
move
got to
there?
see the world.
Like, why don't you just move to Europe
I
if that's where
know.
everyone wants you?
Yeah. And we thought about it, but at that point my mind was like, I can't do this right now. So, you
Yeah,
know,
if your family's here, you got to stay
yeah,
where your family
yeah,
is and your friends.
yes.
But everyone should go check out your company, Island Touch Dance Academy, as well. One of the hottest dance companies in the
Mm.
world. I love the name of the business too. How did you guys come up with it? Because I did hear that obviously Ataca's vision is to touch the world through the
Yeah.
arts. So did that name really just come easy for you guys then?
Actually, funny thing is, I was not involved in that process. So it was Rudy El Tigre and George. They actually started Island Touch together.
Ah,
So they started it, I want to say like towards the end of 2007, they got together. And there's like a whole story behind that. But when they started it, I know they wanted like an adjective and like because Rudy is he's business, like he's
yeah.
corporate America, like he has a huge background in that. So he's like, okay, we got to find something that's marketable that people are gonna like, blah 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 blah. And they're both from an island. George is Puerto Rican, Rudy is part Dominican. So island.
Mm.
Cool. Makes sense. And island makes you think, okay, Caribbean. And all right, we're gonna do a Caribbean dance. And you have salsa, bachata, all that. Touch is just an adjective. Like, what are we gonna add? I honestly don't know why they landed on touch, but I'm glad they did because now we've been able to use
Touch
it
the
for.
world.
Yes, exactly. So it was a perfect pick, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure if I have George on in the future, he can tell the whole story as it is.
Absolutely.
But that's really, really cool, though. And I did see on your website, too, you guys have a bit of a hip hop and reggaeton fusion called Crunk Charter. Is that right?
Yes.
Can you
We
tell
did
us
do
about
that.
that? That sounds a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did do those workshops. We haven't done them in quite a few years, but it was what's fun.
It's still on your
It
website, though.
started. Yeah, it is on the website, and we can do those workshops, but we haven't done them in a long time. It started because we were at, I believe it was the DC Congress back in like 2009, 2010, something like that. And they had asked us, they're like, hey, can you do like a fusion hip hoppy type bachata workshop? And we're like, what the hell or what? Why?
What is
We're like, all
that?
right, well, we'll do something, I guess. And, you know, we found out about it and then we're like, you know, Toby Love is really the one that has that term. So when he considered his style of bachata singing cranchata. He's the first and only person that has said that. Because he
Yeah, I get
has
that.
the hip
With his
hop
music.
influence. Like if you listen to his songs, it's
Mm.
R&B and hip hop. That's the biggest influence that he has. And we're like, that's a perfect name. We're gonna use this name to show, okay, this is the type of workshop. If people know Toby Love, then you'll know exactly what Crunchata would be. And that's how it
Yeah.
started.
If you don't know Toby Love, go check him out.
Yeah.
Really good music.
Yeah, he's probably one of my favorite artists. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think he was one of the, except obviously for Te Extrano, one of the
Yeah.
first Bachata songs I heard. Oh, and Prince
Yeah.
Royce, he's my other fave. Oh my god.
He's awesome. Yeah, he's awesome.
I have to talk to you about this because I found it very interesting. You do also have the Touch the World initiative, which is a philanthropic like arm to Island
Yeah.
Touch. And I even noticed on your email signature, it did say Director of Philanthropy. And I was like, what do you do as a philanthropist in like a dance academy? I didn't even know that was an actual job title. So tell us
I
about
made it a job title.
Good. You did very well.
If you don't have the space, you make your own space. But,
Exactly. You make it a job.
No, basically, how it started, I've always, and we all are like this, but I always wanted to, you know, volunteer and give back. My mom is very big on that. She worked with pregnant teen moms for a long time, for like
Wow.
as I was growing up. So she gives back a lot, and that's something that she's still doing. But with our company, we all were like, okay, we still need to give back to the community. They give us so much and they support us, and you know, let's do something. So it started with including with our franchise teams. We made it to where, okay, twice a year they would do something for their community. They would either give money or give their time, you know, pick an organization in your location and then give back however you can. So that we did that. And we also, for our events, same thing, wanted to do something for a local organization. So like in Chicago, for our event in Chicago every year, we work with an organization called Cell of Freedom, which is an organization that focuses on human trafficking. like that's what they focus on. They've been doing that. And I actually got that organization through my mother because she worked with them as well. And we've been working with them for, I want to say, the last 4 or 5 years now. We've been able to give them, raise money and give them money for their organization. So that's one of them that we work with every year. We've worked with children orphanages. We're currently also working with Heartbeat Vietnam, which is an organization in Vietnam that focuses on children with congenital heart defects. And it's close to me because I was born with the same problems that they have. I was lucky enough to be born in a place that can, has insurance and I can take care of it and I can see a doctor. Unfortunately, they're not, they're not as, I don't want to say lucky, but it's not like that over there. So we have been able, I know from our event in Tampa, that was in 2019, I believe, we were able to raise about $4,000, which allowed 3 children to get life-saving surgery. So we just want to give back, raise as much as we can, and just, touch the world. So
hey, bring
that's really what it was. It was just, we just wanted to give back. I wanted to start a foundation, but I'm like, I want to help everybody. And with your own foundation, you have to focus on one thing. I'm like, I don't want to just focus on one thing. I want to help everybody. So we're just like, let's just raise money and we'll give it to whatever organization at the moment.
Yeah. So I guess as the director of philanthropy, you're kind of also discussing it with with your whole franchise.
Yes.
Talking to the other locations and just organizing all of that.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. At incredible locations. Oh my goodness. There's some that I was really surprised at, like Bangkok, Moscow, Bulgaria, Tokyo, Poland, Rome, Amsterdam, and Belgium. They were ones I was very surprised at. And then obviously many locations around America as well. Have these locations happened because people have inquired about it and they want to do it for you? Or have you actually gone to all those places and ask, can we bring our dance academy?
Can we bring our stuff? No, actually, we started that whole concept back in 2010. We were the first company to do it. That was our model. We were like, all right, because we always had fans and, people that were instructors are like, I would love to learn your style and teach it. And I want to hire you for choreography. And the thing is, we put Te Extrano as a DVD instructional video out before that. And we were very hesitant in the beginning, George and myself, but we're just like, no, listen to me. Do it. People will learn it. Nobody's going to hire them over you. So why are we worried? I'm like, all right, yeah, you're absolutely right. So we did that. And a lot of people actually bought it and learned it and performed it. And it was like, oh, wow, this is amazing. So then we created the touch teams where we would create choreographies for them. And people would just request to be part of it. Once we advertise it, hey, learn Ataca Alemana routines, specific routines for, that season. And we would just have people email us and be like, I would love to be a part of it. And we would audition them and just see what level that they were at and make sure that they're actual instructors and directors. Yeah. And then let them run with the team.
Wow, that's incredible. Gonna have to check that out a little bit more. Ooh, something to add into my dance studio. Yes, you can add Australia to that list. Woo.
Yes, please. We need one.
Yes, I'm happy to. We can talk about that more off air then. So you and Ataca have a big online presence, as we've already spoken about, but I really did want to talk about yours in particular, because I love how you spread the message of, woman power and self-esteem and obviously body image. Mm-hmm. And as women, we just naturally fluctuate with weight, don't we? And deal with it in our own way and in our private time. But, we try to work on that self-esteem and confidence. But unfortunately, I like to think and even for me, it's different because we're in the spotlight. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, I do see so many horrible comments, and it breaks my heart on some of your videos or photos of people just dissing it and oh my God, why is she wearing that? Or she's ain't gained a bit of weight, or now she's skinny, whatever. And don't take it the wrong way, I find you so sexy. So I'm like, what are you going on about, people? And most women are like that. So why are you dissing Tanja just because she's, so-called famous, or, if you see yourself as a bit of a celebrity? But, go be a queen, as you say. Yeah. How do you deal with those hateful comments that are on there, especially when they're focusing on something that's not even about your actual dancing ability? Right. They're looking at something else. It's like, come on, it's a dance video. You're supposed to look at the dancing.
Pay attention to the dancing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'll be honest, definitely in the beginning, it got to me and I was like, oh my God, like I was pregnant. People thought I was pregnant for like 6 years. So I was pregnant for like 6 years apparently.
Oh yeah.
But
always pregnant. Had
yeah.
6 babies.
Yeah, that's what it is. But no, it definitely got to me in the beginning. And then finally, just having a good support system, with like George and Rudy, they're like, don't worry about it. Like, you look great. Do you feel happy? Do you feel good? Yeah. Okay. That's all that matters. And after a while,
Good.
I think as I got older and just like focused more on me, I was like, you know what? Everybody, that's your opinion and that's fine. And yes, do I wish they wouldn't make those comments? Yeah, but whatever. If that's helping you throughout the day, which I doubt it does, making a negative comment that serves no one, but it is what it is. And I've learned to ignore them because really it has nothing to do with me. It's more whatever that person is dealing with. And it's sad to see that I do get, those types of comments from women. You would expect it maybe from men more than anything, but it's fellow women that would say things like that. And I'm like, all right, well, clearly there's an insecurity there or a jealousy there, whatever it might be. And it has really nothing to do with me. And I'm happy and I love myself. So they're, I'll just let them deal with it. So it's, understanding that when comments like that happen to whoever, because it happens to all of us. If you have an online presence, you're going to get those negative comments, whether it's based on your appearance or what you're saying, your mind, doesn't matter. It's important to remember that it's more about the person that's making the comment rather than you.
Very, very true.
That's what I try to live by. It's just to not let it affect me, because if I let those things affect me, I would be very depressed.
Yeah, it's good that you do love yourself. And
yeah, that's
as the guy said, are you feeling good? You're happy? Okay, that's all that matters. Like, I love that. It's something so simple.
It is. You would think it's simple, but it's very hard for us to, specifically, I think, for women to do that, because we're just taught to be whatever society needs us to be, and we're always trying to fit into something and be perfect. And then all these filters and social media has completely blown everything out of proportion, and it's not real anymore. So I think we've lost our grip on reality. But it's important for us to learn that about ourselves, and to stick to the fact, like, okay, if I'm happy, I love the way that I look. Maybe there's always improvement, of course, whatever it is, but you have to be happy with yourself first, and don't worry about anybody else.
And just put yourself first, as you said. Like, don't even look at them if you don't,
Yeah. I don't even
go on there. Like, I pretty much just go on there to post now. I'm like, I don't even look at all the stuff. It's fine.
No, it's not conducive at all. So it's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Say what you got to say. That's fine. Whatever.
But I do love what you said about social media and everything, and just like society creating that whole fake, what beauty should be. Because even like I just started a couple of weeks ago a ladies confidence class. So
nice.
Not just lady styling, but actually I put like a whole mental element in it too, so that we actually love our bodies for how they are made naturally. Like, us women, no matter what you do, you cannot get rid of cellulite. Some days it's there, some days it's not. Stretch marks, come on. If you've had a baby, like that, your whole body tells a story.
A whole person.
Exactly. So I'm like, as you said, it's fine to, maybe go to the gym and want to, get more fit and maybe change some parts, but you should be still loving what you already have and not be like, oh, I wish I looked like that person on a magazine or on social media. But even social media, like, not only magazines, even magazines, they've retouched. Like, I even put up
insanely. Like, it's not even the same person anymore. Like, once you realize that none of that stuff is real, then you're like, okay, this makes sense. The human version of them does not look like that. So how could I ever aspire to be this perfect looking thing that doesn't even exist in real life? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Very, very true. And even like with social media, people only put up what they want you to see. They don't put up the bad stuff.
They don't put that first photo.
Yeah. I always say, like, social media is kind of like someone's trailer where they don't put up their bloopers.
Exactly.
Yeah. But, even like if you Google search celebrities, like, they look every day, like, paparazzi take those photos to kind of shame them. But come on, like a bit of cellulite here or there or fat, whatever. It's totally normal. They just don't look like they do when they're on the red carpet or on a photo shoot or whatever.
Exactly.
You got to love yourself first. It's good to have that bit of a segment. And I know this is a bit of a touchy subject too, but I did want to talk about a post that you put up on your Instagram just recently. I think it was last week. You posted about that it was about 22 years now since you actually did you actually try to or were about to commit suicide? Was that because of hurtful comments as well? Or
No,
because I do remember you mentioning about depression.
yeah. So I've struggled with depression for a long time, like throughout my teenage years and getting older. There was just a lot of things, family issues, and my father not being like, it's you deal with a lot. I think as children we don't put, but there's a lot of trauma that we take in as young children, and then as you grow up you kind of carry that and it turns into something else, and that's why we all need therapy. But
and as a woman too.
Yeah, and a woman of color, like it's everything's like piled up. But it was actually when I was about 13, 14 years old. I was not in a good space. And I think at that moment, I definitely had a lot of like boy problems. So it was that kind of situation at that age, like the world is ending all the time. And I did try. And thank God I was very stupid. And I just took a lot of ibuprofen. So all that happened was I was just very, very sick after that. My mom couldn't figure out what it was. And then finally I told her and she was like, all right, we need to figure this out.
Give you help.
But I did try. Thank God it didn't work, because otherwise I wouldn't be here and experiencing all these amazing things that I've experienced. Like to end my life at 13, 14 is just, I can't even imagine. But yeah, I still, after that, I still struggled with depression. I would have, a few years where I would still have the suicidal thoughts, but I didn't act on them. Something, was like, all right, let's figure this out. It's bad and we're in a bad space right now, but let's not do this. And I think what helped me at that moment while I was having those thoughts is just thinking about like my mother, how it would affect her, I'm, her everything, what she's told me. And I couldn't leave her like that. She would be absolutely devastated. And then, I thought about George and Rudy and, all my friends that care about me. I was like, I can't just leave.
Yeah.
So, that it definitely helped having that in the back of my head. Like, no, like I get it, but you got to stay for this. If nothing else, just stay for this. And that's, that helped me. And then I went into therapy and that definitely helped. And I haven't had those thoughts in a long time.
Good. Yeah. Do you have any advice for any of our audience members who might be going through a similar situation? Or therapy?
I think definitely talking to someone, therapy of some sort, I think is very good. And just remembering, I know it's hard to be like, oh, just stay for other people, but that's really, for me, that's what anchored me to stay, was thinking, okay, if I do this, one, it's a selfish act. Obviously it's because of me, but how many people am I going to affect by doing this? And is this really how I want to hurt them? Because I don't want to hurt any of them. And by doing that, I know I'm going to hurt the people that I love and care about the most. So it's trying to find that anchor, really, and remembering that there's love out there, getting the therapy, taking that first step to talk to someone. It doesn't mean that you're crazy. It just means, you're sick. I feel depression is a sickness, just like everything else. We go to the doctor. If you have a cold, you go to the doctor. So for our mental health, we should go to a doctor to, not to fix it, but to address the problem and then figure out how we can, get better. So I definitely do feel that talking to someone is like the number one thing to do. Whoever, if you're out there and you're struggling, take that first step, talk to someone, and life gets better.
Yeah, definitely.
Taking that way out, I understand why, but you can miss out of so many amazing things that would come after that. And, having lived it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I stayed, because I saw the world. I did this. Like, it's been amazing. So yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. I know for a lot of people it is a touchy subject, so please go get help if you are feeling like that. But it is something I do like to bring up in interviews as well, just to get some advice. So thank you. And before we are going to play a little bit of a game soon, which would be really fun. Yeah. She's like, oh.
Let's do it.
A bit different, not just chatting about me the whole time. But I would love to know, even though you've already achieved so much, traveled around all these different countries, what can we expect from you and George in the future? Do you have some really cool stuff coming up that we can expect?
I'm trying to think.
Just kind of going day to day, putting videos up.
Yeah, it's
just usual.
I mean, we're still traveling. Like I have like local classes. We're dipping our toes in different things, but we still have our events. We've had that. George did a movie, which was a cool project that he did. Obviously, we did the singing, and hopefully we get to continue that in the future, especially with Grupo Extra, who are absolutely incredible to work with and incredible people. I've been doing some fitness here and there. Started a program. Any new exciting projects? Not really.
We will just keep a look out on social media.
Yes, stay with our social media, and when we have a new project coming out, you'll be the first to know.
Yes, please come back on. I want to hear all about it. You're welcome on any time. Just consider it like your second home.
Yay!
But I think it's time for the legendary 2-minute hot seat.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, it's a really fun game here in Rave It Up. It is just very legendary because people just love it. They just keep coming back for the game. I got rid of it for a little while and people were like, where did it go? And I was like, okay, I'll bring it back. So what we will do, Tanya, is I ask you various questions. You just have to pick your preference. So it's like dogs or cats, singing or dancing. Okay. And you have to answer as many questions in 2 minutes as possible.
Ooh, and what do I get?
Well, I know, right? People are like, what's my prize? Knowing you're the winner. Isn't that a prize?
Right. Yeah, that's good. That'll work.
I got to come up with a prize then. And when we finish, we'll see where you sit on the leaderboard up against everyone else that's played the game on the show.
All right.
So 144 people, just to let you know, over like 11 years. So a lot of people. Yeah.
Let's go. I'm a competitive person. Let's do this.
And because it's a Zoom interview, I'll give you 2 minutes 15 just because, there's a little bit of delay. Okay. I do that with all my Zoom interviews, so that's fair. All right. Are you ready?
I think so.
Yeah. Do you have any questions? Except I'm not giving you the questions. Okay. Let me get my stopwatch. Okay. I'll change the view on the camera so we can both see each other. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
iPhone or Samsung?
iPhone.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Rap or rock music?
Rap.
Rock or pop?
Pop.
Pop or country?
Pop.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Beach or pool?
Beach.
Skiing or snowboarding?
Skiing.
Sun or rain?
Sun.
Comedy or action?
Comedy.
Blondes or brunettes?
Brunettes.
Sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Sunglasses or hat?
Sunglasses.
SUV or convertible?
SUV.
Mac or PC?
Mac.
PlayStation or Wii?
PlayStation.
Clean or messy?
Clean.
Singing or dancing?
Oh, dancing.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Italian or Chinese food?
Italian.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Kim Kardashian or Scarlett Johansson?
Scarlett.
Johnny Depp or Will Smith?
Johnny Depp.
Mall or online shopping?
Online.
Cinema or home movie?
Home.
Ice cream or gelato?
Ice cream.
Cake or cookies?
Cookies.
Dress or skirt?
Dress.
Family or friends?
That's hard. I'm going to say family because my friends are family. Family.
Christmas or your birthday?
Oh, my birthday.
Night or day?
Day.
Heels or flats?
Heels.
Straight or curly hair?
Curly.
Eye color, blue or brown?
Brown.
Vampire or werewolf?
Vampire all the way.
Texting or calling?
Texting.
Los Angeles or New York?
LA.
Friday or Saturday?
Saturday.
TV or movies?
Movies.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Snow or surf?
Surf.
Harry Potter or Twilight?
Twilight.
Family Guy or The Simpsons?
Family Guy.
McDonald's or Burger King?
Ugh, McDonald's, I guess.
French fries or chips?
Chips.
And we're out of time.
Oh, wow.
How many questions do you think you answered in that time?
30?
30. Oh, a lot more than that, sweetheart. Woo.
Oh, wow.
You have answered 46 questions. Woo! And you are sitting, let me look at the leaderboard. Ooh, you are sitting number 42 on the Rave It Up leaderboard. But out of Zoom interviews, you're only sitting number 6.
Okay.
So that's really good, yeah.
I'll take it.
Woo! Just means you're going to have to come back on and do it again.
I got to keep that score.
Now you know what to expect.
Yes.
Well, we are unfortunately getting to the end of the interview now, Tanja. It's gone so fast, hasn't it? I've had a blast, so thank you. But as a closing statement, and what's probably the most important question, a little bit more serious now, knowing what you know now, what would you tell your 14-year-old self?
At that moment, like the best thing is it gets better. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's like it gets better.
That's good advice for all the young listeners today too. If you're going through a hard time, it does get better.
Yeah,
it gets better. There's so much to look forward to as you get older, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if our audience want to contact you, find out what you're up to in the future, where should they go? Where should we go follow you?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram under @Alemana_official. The same for my Facebook. And I have a TikTok that's the same, Alemana official. But I'm mostly on Instagram. And then for our company website, islandtouchdance.com, we have online classes, islandtouchonline.com. And that's the biggest thing is Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You can find me there, Alemana official, always.
Woo! And you and George also have your own Instagram as well, yeah.
Yeah, Ataca Alemana official.
Yeah, thank you. I was like, I didn't know whether you were first or he was first, but yeah, thank you. I'll put all the links below this interview for everyone to click on as well, so they can go follow if they haven't already. But thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate your whole hour. It's been fantastic.
It doesn't even feel like an hour. That's been amazing.
I know, right?
Thank you so much. It's been very fun.
That's when you know you're having fun. The time just flies. But you're welcome on any time, okay, Tanja? So come back on the show in the future, and who knows, hopefully in the future we can do it in person if you ever plan to come to Australia. Is that have you been to Australia before? I don't know.
Yeah, we've actually gone a few times. Definitely want to come back. So hopefully that'll be on the schedule soon. So if you're an Australian promoter, let us know. We're willing to come over. Hey,
I know a few, so we'll see.
Yeah.
And you got someone to visit now, all right? Just got to make sure you come meet me. We'll go for a social night and do an interview in person. That'll be a lot of fun.
Perfect. Love it.
Let's keep in touch then, and we'll make it happen. It's on the to-do list.
Yes.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed today's interview. If you'd like to check out any of our other interviews, please visit our website, raveituptv.com. All of the podcasts and videos are there for you to enjoy. And also on our website, you can go check out our book, Knowing What I Know Now, and also a little mini ebook that I wrote last year called Staying Strong, Finding Inner Peace During Hard Times. It's a perfect book, especially related to our topic of depression with Tanja today. So if you're going through a hard time right now and need a little bit of help, please check out that book. Highly recommend it. But thank you so much for watching today, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.